Hey my friend, this is Darnell, Clarke, your industry leader in this career game. Hey, the answer man, your career coach. Hey, today's topic is your career is in your own hands, not the company. Hey, but before I get started, I have a game plan. It's the 5 rules to this corporate America game. It is exactly what you need, right? It's gonna help you step you through so you can get to the mountaintop in your career. Stay to the end, I'll show you how to get it. I also created a YouTube video that explains these 5 rules in detail. Hey, it's exactly what you need. Both of these together, will take you to the mountaintop. Go below, click on the link to watch the video. It is a long video, I have to admit. Stay to the end, I'll show you how to get the game plan for free. Now, your career is in your own hands, not the company. See, before, the concept of lifetime employment with no layoffs at one company is over. It's your responsibility to have your career, to have an extraordinary, remarkable, amazing career. It's your responsibility to find and engage your own training, your own development. See, back in the day, it used to be you come into a company, especially large companies. You come into a company, they'll send you and give you 2 years of operations, 2 years of finance, 2 years of sales and marketing, and 2 years of operations. And after those 2, 4, 6, 8 years, you come in and they will just send you everywhere. You be well-rounded career professional, going to any place, going to the career, to the mountaintop. That's how they used to do. Not today. It's your responsibility to get your own training. It's your responsibility to develop the career you want. It's your responsibility to identify what you want to do. The company will not give you the ability to stay there long enough so you can stay at one company and have the company identify your own career. So here are 3 action steps you must take to take ownership of your own career. Let me tell you something if you don't do this. You in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and you are still letting companies identify what functional jobs you should have, what career you should be in, what industry you should be in. You're trying to figure out what to do and you're letting your boss or the company or somebody outside you tell you where you should be. So let me tell you what happened. I have a family member, my wife, right? She was a big baller shot caller from the first beginning. She was the #1 highest GPA student in her high school. Somewhere like 1,600 graduating seniors, she was #1. She was #1. She came out of high school. She got a degree, right? And went into having a degree, and she got a scholarship. She got an athletic scholarship. I had an athletic scholarship also, so I married an athlete, right? Cool. I married an athlete, but she got a scholarship. She could have got an academic scholarship, but she chose to get an athletic scholarship, and she went through and got a computer science degree and graduated 4 years. I don't know anybody who done that. Graduated computer science degree, not an MIS in business management information system. Nah. I got a computer science degree too. No, we were in the computer science degree school, taking 15, 18 math classes and had to go to these computer labs back then. It wasn't no, in-home computer, you had to do a computer lab and spend all your time and effort writing programs. That's what she was doing, that's what I was doing. She graduated in 4 years. And then she took a couple interviews. One interview she took was with IBM. She took one interview with IBM and they hired her on the spot. And for 30 years, she worked for that one company, IBM. And IBM told her, go here, go there, do this, do that. And she was always letting them identify her career. And then after one day, after 30 years, she get reorged. Remember, if you haven't heard my other videos, the reorg word is the new name in the marketplace for layoffs. downsizing, restructuring. You hear any of that? Somebody getting laid off. So she gets into a new organization and they had a reorg, and after 30 years, with no fault of her own, high performer. She got a great work ethic, high work ethic, and she could work me underneath the table. I've seen her multiple times. She had to deliver something of a project. She had international responsibility. She's working 18, 20 hours a day, 4 consecutive days, never even coming up in the bedroom, sleep in the office, on the couch, get up and do it over and over. Did it for 4 days straight. And I started doing it for like 3, 4, 5 different times. I can never work like that, right? And one day she gets a call from a new manager that they downsizing her. Blew her away, man, like dang. I'm a big baller shot caller. You know, she's on an external contract, working with IBM and working with an external country. That means when you work on an internal project, you are bringing in non-green dollars. They are shifting one budget to another budget, but it's not true money. When you're on an external customer client contract, you are bringing green dollars into the organization. So the organization is paying the bill rate for my wife and is bringing green dollars into the organization. That made no difference to those guys, and they gave her walking papers. And for the next, 6, 7 months, she had to get over that, right? And now she's out there rock and roll, doing a bunch of stuff, but she's still trying to figure out what she wanted to do. See, not me. I knew what I wanted to do from day one. It was all over the place, but I didn't have an issue with trying to find my next gig, right? Because it was my responsibility. Your career is in your own hands, my friend. So here are 3 action steps you must take to take ownership in your career. Action step number 1. You need to understand the industries. It is the industries here in America that will make or break your career. How do you identify the industry? That is the key. You need to know the top 5 industries in America and get into those industries. When you get into an ever thriving, ever expanding, ever growing industry, as it grows, as it expands, as it thrives, your career grows and expands with it. Just like if you are with a shrinking, dying industry, your career shrinks and dies with it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and go to the Bureau of Labor and find the Occupational Outlook Handbook. They do not make this book anymore. I got this back in 2006, 2007, over 10 years ago, right? I got this back then. It's all online now. It's massive. What I need you to do is go find the top 5 industries here in America. And then, right, a few years later, I got the same book again. This was the last year they printed this book. It was in 2010, right? Shoot, man, that's 20 years ago. That 2007, man, that's a little while ago. This is 2010, right? This is a long time ago. This information hasn't changed, my friend. You will just have to go to bls.gov and look for the Occupational Handbook and find the top 5 industries in America. Do you know what the top number 1 industry here in America is? It's healthcare. It's healthcare because the baby boomer generation is getting older and they need more healthcare. Number 2 industry in America is educational services. Why educational services, right? It's the millennials. It's the millennials and Generation Xers. They are becoming the best and most educated generation of all time here in America. They are in high school. They are in colleges, all over the place. That's number 2. And number 3 is professional services. How did I know that? I read all this stuff, right? I got my thumb on the pulse of America as far as employment and the employment situation. I know all the industries. I know where the thriving and growing industries are, and I know where the shrinking industries are. That's what you need to do. You need to know the industries, and then from that is this. Career Guides to Industries. This book gave me, okay, here are the industries. This book gave me, here are all the opportunity and jobs and positions in the industry. So now I know the industry. So now what I want you to do is go find the top 10 industries. Go to the bls.gov and then do a Google search. Once you find an industry in your location, do a Google search on the top 100 companies in that industries in your location. When you do that, now you know the companies that's in those industries. Then you go and find this book and find this information on bls.gov and find the positions that's available in the industries for those companies, and that's where you apply for positions, right? You need to take ownership. See, this is what I see now. What I see is our whole generation, our whole people in the industry. There's 157 million people in the industry. Yeah, and about 90 to 95% haven't put their career in their own hands. I see that they are in their career car, sitting in the back seat, letting it go from wherever it would go with no driver in the front seat and just letting it drive. And then when it crashes, you want to know how do I find and get to a boss I didn't like? How do I got to a career I hate? How did I get here? You got here because you wasn't paying attention to your career. You sitting in the back seat of your career car and you're just letting it drive all over the place without taking responsibility. I need you to get out of that back seat, get in the front seat, take ownership of that career wheel and drive it forward. That's action step number one. Action step number two, I need you to excel at what you do. I need you to excel at what you do. The marketplace doesn't want and doesn't care about people who's average. So let me tell you what requires for you to be great at what you do. So when I was at the mountaintop and I was working for Coca-Cola, I realized I didn't like what I was doing. And for 15, 20 years, I was in IT. See, I should have never got a computer science degree and I got an MBA. I should have never worked in IT. I truly like sports. If you don't know my background, my first profession was I was an ex-professional athlete playing Major League Baseball. I went to college on an athletic scholarship to University of Nebraska. And that's what I wanted to do. And so when I went to Philadelphia Phillies, my career ended really quickly because I blew my knee out and I was done. I went back to school and got my computer science degree. What I should have done, instead of got a computer science degree, I should have went and got a sports administration, sports management degree because I truly love sports. Not just baseball, all sports. Okay, maybe not all sports, I don't like soccer. Soccer's so freaking stupid. No, I'm sorry. Okay, it's not stupid. I know you got children and everything playing soccer. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. But I don't like soccer. It's so darn boring. Yeah, I know baseball is boring too, but I don't like it. You only get these low-scoring games. I can't figure out the rules and regulations. I don't understand the timing situation, man. I don't like it, right? I don't like soccer. I know you're Europeans or people outside the United States is football. I get that. But other than that, I like all sports, man. I should have went and got a sports administration, sports management degree and an MBA, went into the professional side and became a general manager of a major league organization or football or basketball. On the collegiate side, I should have became an athletic director. That's what I should have done. But I didn't, right? And so then I transitioned out because I didn't like IT. And so I became a career coach so I could show you, hey man, you gotta go and find out what you truly love to do. So here is step two. How do you excel at what you do? First, you must be able to excel at what you do. Therefore, you must be great at work. You must be great at work. But you cannot be great at work until you first master your job. All right, so what's greatness? Greatness at its core bottom, at the core essence, is being flat out better than everybody else at what you do. You can't be flat out better than anything and everybody what they do until you first master your job. All right, so then what is mastery? Mastery is having an all-inclusive body knowledge proficiency at your job. Did you hear that? A all-inclusive proficiency, body of knowledge proficiency at your job. You will never be able to master your job until you first start loving what you do. That is the key. You must love what you do. See, when I was in IT, I didn't love what I do. I didn't love it. See, if you don't love what you do, all you will ever be is average. And you and I were not created to be average. We were created for greatness. And pursue that greatness that God has gifted you with. And in that pursuit of your greatness is your peace, love, joy, and happiness. If you don't pursue the greatness that God has gifted you with, then all that will reside with you in your life and your career is boredom, indulgery, and having a ho-hum life, and your life becomes melancholy, all uninteresting. And then all of a sudden you got Blue Mondays, Hump Day Wednesday. Thank God it's Friday. I can't wait to get out of here. And then with 60 minutes coming in on Sunday, tick, 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 this whole thing in your guts start churning like, man, I got to get my mind, body right. So ready to go to work. I hate that. That's because you don't love what you do. You cannot master your job until you first love what you do. You will never love what you do until you first become good at it. You will never become good at work until you first start liking it. You will never like your job until it connects to your strengths. That's why you need to know what your strengths are. And you will never know what your strengths are until you're working at a job long enough, all the time, so you can derive some satisfaction and happiness from doing your work. That's what I like college coaching. That's what I like Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the Alabama football coach, Crimson Tide. He really likes to coach, and it's all he's been doing for almost 3 decades. He's the best at it. I know Clemson beat him last time. I know Clemson is nipping on their heels, but hey man, every blue chipper in America want to go to Alabama. Because I know if I go to Alabama, I ain't even got to start. I just play some time. If I go to Alabama, I'm going to go to the league at the NFL because of Nick Saban, right? Because he truly loves what he do. You will never be able to love what you do until you find your one thing like Nick Saban, and you will never be able to find your one thing until you discover your vocation, the job and the career you were supposed to do. That's one thing we never was told to do. When you were in high school and college, when you came out, you were supposed to stop and identify your purpose. But we was never told that. So we go and get a degree that 85% of people getting a college degree never work in that profession. Did you know that? That's just a waste of time and effort and money going and getting a college degree and don't even work in it. That's crazy. That's because they didn't take any time to identify that is what I'm supposed to do. That's step number 1. Number 1 is the industry. Action step number 2 is I need you to excel. Be great at what you do. And action step number 3 is I want you to take 1% of your gross earnings and spend it on yourself to expand your knowledge. If you're going to be excel and be great at what you do, you got to do more than other people. You got to work harder. I know you hear people I say, don't work harder, work smarter. That's nonsense. Working harder is working smarter. You got to outwork everybody. That's what my wife used to did, still do now. She just flat out outwork you. She will outwork me in a heartbeat. If you want to get to the mountaintop of your career, start outworking people. Therefore, I want you to take 1%. So if you're making $100,000, that's $1,000. Take $1,000 and start buying books and start buying online programs. I need you to start reading. Reading is successful to your career. Listen, we don't read here in America. 85% of people who graduate from high school or college never pick up another nonfiction book ever again. They don't read. I'm not talking about reading an article here, reading something on the internet. I'm talking about reading a full, from the first word to the last word of nonfiction book, right? If you have never read, I'm talking about you should start reading. A person who does not read is no different than a person who cannot read. You are the same person you are today as you are tomorrow, except the books you read. Take 1% and spend it on yourself. That's what I did. Here's me in my office with all the books behind me, right? I have been reading 2 books a month. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to start reading 1 book a month for the first year to get your mind, body, eyes, mouth, soul ready and comfortable of reading books on a continuous basis. I want you to read 1 nonfiction book every single month in your profession, in your industry. And I want you to also start going to workshops and seminars and get a career coach. Yeah, if you're not engaging me as a career, get you a career coach. Did you know that most senior level executives have career coaches? The only people that don't have career coaches are low-level management and down, individual contributors. Those are the only people that don't have career coaches. Everybody else have career coaches. So if you don't get me as a career coach, get somebody as a career coach to help you take your career to the next level. So there you go. So let me recap. Here are the 3 action steps you need to take ownership in your career. Action step number 1, I need you to understand the industries here in America. That is what's going to take your career to the mountaintop. Action step number 2, you must excel at what you do. Action step number 3, you must take 1% of your gross earnings and spend it on yourself on personal development. So there you go, my friend. I told you about the 5 rules to this corporate American game. Hey, go below. Click on the link. It's a free downloadable, give you the ability to understand this corporate American game for women and people of color. So go below, click on that button right now. It will absolutely show you how you get to the mountaintop. Also go below is the video I created to help you to engage in them into the 5 rules. It's more detailed than you can ever imagine. It is a lengthy video, I have to admit, but it's exactly what you need. Go below, click on that button. So if you like this video, my friend, click on the like button, share this with 5 friends, leave a comment on what you think I should be talking about next, or if you have any questions about your career, this is where you tell me, because I'm Darnell Clarke, the answer man. There is no question that you could ask me that I won't know the answer to. So ask your question. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and on the side is the bell. Click on that bell so you get notified every time I come out with fresh new content, which I'm going to be coming out with fresh new content every week for the rest of this year. So this is Darnell Clarke, your industry leader in this career game. There's one thing I know for sure, that is whatever you want, you must go get it. There is no other way. And if you do, then I'll see you, my friend. And yes, I do mean you at the top, because the bottom is too freaking crowded. See you later.